Stop! Spoiler alert! Everyone who's beaten Red Dead Redemption 2's story remembers their last time seeing Arthur Morgan. Well, that is at least until your next playthrough. And in this video, I'll be showing you Red Dead freaks Arthur Morgan's final meetings with all members of Dutch's gang before his demise or their departure. We couldn't start off without mentioning the first surprising death in the game. The poor Ginger Lazarus indeed stayed very dead. This all happened just a bit too quick for me to consider it hardly a final goodbye. Instead, I'd like to think that this camp encounter is shortly before Sean's expiration. He finds a dead white rabbit just outside of the campgrounds with Jack.
A white rabbit. Oh, there, well, they're magical.
Really?
Sure. It's a sign. It's definitely a sign.
A sign of what?
No idea yet. No idea. Ain't it a sign, Arthur?
Sign you've gone dumb in the head. Now skin that thing.
Jackie boy, that's the age of reason right there. No room for dreams.
Oh well. Bye, Mr. Rabbit.
Mr. Rabbit, it's Mr. Pearson's pot for you.
It's been interpreted that this short scene is a hidden example of major foreshadowing, even though it's incredibly ironic. Sean, being of Irish descent, was familiar with the folklore. From what I understand, a white rabbit coming to visit you is a secret sign of good fortune. However, the white rabbit being deceased is a clue something drastically wrong was coming. Oh, poor Kieran. This guy just couldn't catch a break, man. Had a pretty shitty life from beginning to end. It took a little while for Arthur to warm up to him, but once he did, he treated him and felt the same about him as he did everyone else in the camp. Well, kind of. Their last time seeing each other was the night of the party, just after bringing Jack back home.
You fellas certainly know how to have fun, Mr. Arthur.
Sure.
If I had stayed with O'Driscoll, you'd have probably killed me by now. You ever think of that?
We'd have both died at 6 Points cabin.
Yes, that's true. Oh, brother, I am really drunk.
At least he got to enjoy his last night alive with the acceptance of his peers. It's been assumed over the years that random screams heard around the swamps of Shady Belle are the cries of Kieran being killed by the O'Driscolls. I still don't know what it is to this day, but I'm more than sure it was just Rockstar intentionally adding screams of terror to capture that creepy essence of the swamps. We're gonna knock two birds out with one stone on this next one. Lenny and Hosea were some of Arthur's closest mates. Who could forget the good times we had with Lenny and Valentine? Or what about the misadventures of Melvin and Fenton? Of course, Arthur's last moments with these guys was seen during the SADIE bank robbery where they both lost their lives. But that's no way to remember these legends. So let's see when the exact last time Arthur had a personal interaction with both. Lenny went out way too quick, poor guy. He had no idea what hit him. And perhaps his death was foreshadowed in the last ride he took with Arthur to rob a passing stagecoach that happened to be prepared for such an occasion. His tenacity was something that impressed Arthur, but unfortunately it was a fatal combination when mixed with inexperience. Instead of following Arthur's command, he blindly rushes into a setup that was highly suspected. Same as in his final moments on the rooftop.
Just wait for my lead, okay?
I said wait for my lead.
This is a robbery. Drop your weapon.
Who could forget good old Hosea, everyone's favorite grandpa? Considering how ready Hosea was to go to Tahiti, I feel like this one hits even harder. He genuinely looks so pumped only to be shot like a dog in the street. Before the heist, he could be seen everywhere around Shady Belle discussing the plans with basically everyone, in preparation so as for them to make minimal mistakes. Instead, they made nothing but mistakes.
So it's a city bank, and then we're off. It's what you wanted.
Hey, Molly.
It's what we need. If we can manage it.
City banks are hard, but we got a lot of guns.
You think we can do it?
I hope so. I really do.
After witnessing the horror of Hosea being deflated, we get hit with a double whammy on poor Lenny. A really beautiful moment of symbolism can be interpreted after the mission Hell Hath No Fury. When Arthur makes his way across the bridge of corpses, 2 small birds will fly into frame and roost upon the harbor's wall. Many players believe these were the reincarnated spirits of his fallen comrades, Lenny and Hosea. I spoke about this and many other secret symbolic moments you probably didn't see in Red Dead Redemption 2 in a video from a few months ago. If you haven't seen it yet, you'll find a link to it in the description. Let me know in the comments if you haven't seen it yet, or if you have found your own hidden symbolic moment that you'd like to share. Next is the troubled Miss Molly O'Shea. Oh man, this girl was crazy. Thinking she'd be able to get a career criminal and evil monster to be anything better. There just aren't many times I can remember Arthur interacting with Molly. She just wasn't that interesting. But what I do remember was her going cuckoo by the pier in Shadybell.
Make a fool out of me. Always laughing at me. All the way across the Atlantic, nearly as far as the Pacific. Always laughing at me. Lying to me and laughing to me.
You okay?
All of you turned him against me.
You're driving yourself crazy.
Duchess' neglect to this madly in love woman was enough to drive her quite literally insane. KIERAN of all people even tried to snap her out of it, despite their issues.
Damn you!
I guess that broken pocket mirror was more devastating than she thought. Forget the 7 years of bad luck. Basically 7 weeks from this point, she had an entire door blown through her by Miss Grimshaw. The real sad thing here is she didn't even receive a proper burial. She was discarded like a piece of trash. And for what? For loving the guy too much? That doesn't change the fact that I thought she was an annoying shrew. Supposedly, she was initially intended to have a gravesite close to the camp, similar to the rest of Arthur's deceased friends, but was cut from the final game, amongst a host of other things with it. What do you think of Molly? Does she deserve all the hate, or do you think Rockstar could have done more with her character? Let's face it, we all like MARY-BETH, and we know damn well why. It ain't just because she's a nice girl. She's one of few members of the group that Arthur confides his trust in. In nearly every chapter, she is available to counsel Arthur with his darkest secrets. There aren't many people he revealed his illness to, not that it wasn't obvious enough, but MARY-BETH was among those few. It's sort of a rare interaction to trigger. I've only ever seen it once before. It's behind the Beaver Hollow camp. Arthur has the chance to have one last conversation with MARY-BETH before it's all over.
Hello. I'm fine.
You don't look fine.
Well, I had some bad news.
Was it Mary?
No, not exactly. That's me. I'm sick.
Sick?
Yeah. I might die.
Oh. I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Me too. Me too.
Maybe you'll get better.
I don't think so.
Then I'm sorry.
Only the thing is, since then, I've started seeing things differently. I don't know. The whole world seems different somehow.
How so?
I can't explain it. Like better, almost.
That a good thing?
I guess it is. Only sometimes I ain't doing the good thing.
Maybe it's a sign, Arthur. Try to do the good thing.
I guess. Only it ain't always clear what that is. Not with the big stuff.
I know. Trust me, I know.
After this, Dutch reveals to Arthur shortly before the ending mission that she left along with a few others in the early morning hours. From there, we don't hear from MARY-BETH until the epilogue 8 years later when she meets John at the train station in Valentine. We learn she fulfilled her ambitions of becoming a writer where she could create all her fantasies with the stroke of a pen. A pen that we potentially gave her as part of the item request for her in Chapter 2.
How's it riding?
Not very good. I hear the most wonderful words in my head, and then I write absolute poppycock. But I love it.
Yeah, me too. My journal. I was reading some the other day. I write like a fool.
One day I'd love a beautiful fountain pen and a great desk in a quiet room and to write the most beautiful stories.
Well, I can't do much about the stories or the quiet room, but maybe I'll find you a pen.
Thank you.
So, I got hold of that fountain pen for you.
Oh, thank you, Arthur.
Karen Jones. What a hot, delightful mess. Everyone's favorite party girl. That makes even the most experienced alcoholics look like lightweights. She lived a rough, complicated life where she didn't always make the best decisions, but lived fast and lived dangerously.
Sorry.
And just like many of us, she had her own personal vices that she unfortunately let get the best of her after Sean's death. She was a troubled soul with a big, heart. Yeah, a really big heart. And an equally massive personality. Most of our time spent with Karen in Chapter 6 was pretty unpleasant to say the least. The last I remember seeing of her was after Cleet and Joe are brought into the camp, much to the dismay of all the camp's residents. But none more than Karen, who actually confronts them.
Who are these goddamn creeps?
Watch your tongue. They're riding with us now.
Says who?
Says me.
And who are you?
Miss Karen here likes the bottle too much. Sad, really. She used to be a fun sort of girl. Now it's just unfortunate and depressing. Still, we've all met her sort. Pay her no heed.
You revolt me.
The feeling is mutual, my dear. Go. Have another drink.
Damn you!
Don't let Micah get to you.
You're all as bad as each other.
Why don't you go easy on her?
I ain't forcing the liquor down her throat.
I don't know about that.
After being embarrassed by Micah, we never hear or see from Karen ever again. We get the clearest indication of what became of her in Tilly's letter in the epilogue. Now, where do we go from a beauty like Karen to a more beautiful specimen? Who could it be, you may ask yourself? Herr Strauss, of course. The man who coerced Arthur into savagely beating innocently struggling people over a couple of bucks, only just to become infected with a deadly disease. Arthur knew this degenerate wasn't any good and didn't want anything to do with his business anymore. Their last goodbyes were anything but peaceful.
Did you know what those men had done?
Did you go and collect any of the debts?
No, I did not.
Well, don't worry. I'm...
Running away?
I suppose so.
That sounds about right. Well, I'd like to say I'll miss you, but really I won't. Get out of here.
Your charm is your best feature.
Yeah, likewise.
What do you think? Was Arthur in the right, or was kicking him out of camp uncalled for? Taking into consideration that he never ratted out the gang to the Pinkertons, even to the point of death. As sleazy and weaselly as he was, that counts for something in my book. He may have been many horrible things, but a snitch wasn't one of them. By the time Dutch and the gang arrived in Beaver Hollow, all that remained of the once massive and thriving gang of outlaws was only but a few trusted associates of Arthur and the rest being blindly aggressive sheep following Dutch deeper into his madness. As they all dissipate one by one, on a calm, sleepy afternoon, Arthur finds Trelawney preparing to embark on another one of his escapades, but this time, Arthur knows he's not coming back. Trelawney returns silently to the gang in Chapter 6 after going home to his secret family in Chapter 4. It seemed like after every score Trelawney participated in the gang, he took his winnings straight back to his wife and children. For being a low-down criminal, he's actually a pretty good dude. There's a pretty rare encounter Arthur has with Trelawney in Beaver Hollow, upon his first moments entering into the new camp. This is their first time seeing each other after all the chaos that erupted in Chapter 4, and so forth.
Hello, Arthur.
So, you're back.
I bumped into Bill in Nansburg. You okay?
Sure.
How were the tropics?
Got half drowned, arrested, shot at, arrested again, rescued, tortured, half eaten by bugs.
That good, eh?
Exactly.
Listen, things here. Is everything okay? People seem odd.
Well, we got the law hot on our tail. Things ain't great.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'll see what I can do.
Not much time passes until Trelawney decides this is fucked up beyond all recognition, and dips to greener pastures. We don't know what happens to him after, but it's assumed he lived happily ever after with his family. Not many characters in Red Dead, or even Rockstar games in general, hardly ever get the good ending. However, Mr. Pearson is a well-deserved exception to that. He did nothing but his best for the gang, without ever pulling a trigger. When everything goes to caca in Chapter 6, he's seen as a real sad case, almost like KIERAN. He becomes increasingly unhappy and demoralized, turning to heavy drinking, believing their outlook is hopeless. He eventually abandons the camp when others decide to leave en masse.
It's all over. All over. I don't want to die. Not like this, not... I don't want that. I don't... You... Yeah. It's all so sad, Mr. Morgan. So very sad. I don't know. I don't know.
I know things seem bad.
We're gonna die here.
Don't give up just yet.
Later, if John decides to step into the general store in Rhodes, we'll find Pearson behind the counter as the shop's new owner. His new bride, however, doesn't seem to like John very much.
Is that him again? What does he want now?
Him?
He just popped in to say hello.
You stay out of that filthy business, you hear me?
Of course, dear. I overdid it on the rum. I told her more than I should.
I can still hear you.
Sorry, dear.
Pearson might have gotten the high on her good ending, but he surely didn't get the happy one. Poor guy. Someone's story we're pretty familiar with is the One-Shot Kids. We've known and loved our favorite uncle since 2010. And in 2018, we got more of Uncle than we bargained for in Red Dead Redemption 2. And that's not a bad thing. I loved every second with this old fart. He enhanced the epilogue, being by John's side while building the ranch. A real stand-up dude. Not very well tolerated, but well respected by Arthur and John. He fought for John's family until his last breath. I recently made a video discussing everything you might have missed about Uncle and a complete history of his character's lore. If you haven't already seen it, I'll link it in the description. But anyway, back to the point, and that's identifying when the last time he was seen speaking to Arthur. And that comes just before the final mission. Arthur reveals his situation to Uncle and how he wishes to spend his remaining days helping others.
Hey, big man. I'm worried. I'm really worried.
Me too, Uncle.
What's going to happen, you know? To everybody.
I guess folks is gonna make a choice. Whether they live or die.
And you?
I don't have that choice no more. I'm just trying to help others see clearly. That's my choice.
You're a good man, Arthur Morgan. A good man.
Next in the order of final goodbyes is the Reverend, a useless addict that cared more about feeding his drug habit than feeding the starving souls the gospel of Christ. Tell me, how was that? It was pretty good, huh? Probably the only camp inhabitant that wasn't negatively affected by all the hardship they faced in recent times. If anything, it assisted him in kicking his addiction. The main factor that contributed to his sobriety was the same charming woman that helped Arthur achieve his redemption. At least in my opinion.
Mr. Morgan, you don't look very well.
I'm not, Reverend. I fear I'm pretty sick.
I'm so sorry.
You seem well, on the other hand?
Yes, I've stopped all that silly business. I think I'm okay.
Well, that's wonderful news. How?
I don't know. I met a Catholic lady, a nun, and we prayed, and it was lifted. The curse was lifted.
Good.
I can't believe it. Really, I can't. All those years I wasted.
She is more famously known for the emotional scene at the train station, but if players did not participate in the stranger missions associated with Sister Calderon, then instead of saying farewell to her at the train station, the game will replace her with Reverend Swanson. Which scene did you like better, the one with Reverend or the one with the nun? According to a newspaper article in 1907, Reverend became an ordained minister for the Congregational Church of New York, where he delivered powerful sermons about the sins of the world and how to overcome them through redemption in Christ. As we dawn closer to Arthur's final day on Earth, we are left with just a handful of companions to bid adieu. The last person that leaves before the ending mission was Charles Smith. He had his own interests and issues to work on with the Wapiti tribe, who were being forced out of the reservation by the army. Now, with the massive battle at the factory over, Charles needed to move the residents out quickly before there was any chance of retaliation. In that brief moment of decision, Charles embraces Arthur as his brother before they part ways for the final time. Without Charles, this game would have felt incomplete. He was a compass for Arthur's morality in some cases, and a foundation for John's new life. He was the best friend a man could ask for, and fortunately for him, he wasn't with Dutch's gang long enough to be identified by the government agents, same as Sadie. And it is by this saving grace as to why he's not pursued like John later in 1911. The time has finally come, Arthur Morgan. Your final day has dawned. With a mission titled Red Dead Redemption, you know shit's about to hit the fan. Just prior to the confrontation with Micah in the finale, Tilly intercepts the gang to inform Dutch of Abigail's arrest. Once Dutch does his typical abandonment shenanigans, Arthur will give Tilly a parting gift before vowing to young Jack that he will return Abigail. From this money, Tilly got a head start to getting out of the life of crime. Eventually, she'd settle down with a lawyer she meets in Saint-Denis years later. In 1907, John can meet her again while she is waiting for the trolley in Saint-Denis. Interestingly, Tilly's actor was also pregnant while working on Red Dead Redemption 2. Arthur says goodbye to Sadie and Abigail at the same time, so I don't really feel like this was a very personal goodbye. It was a little bit too rushed for me, and in this case, I'll just include the last times he spoke to each woman individually.
I'm glad you chose to help me with Marston.
Against my better judgment.
Doing what's right don't make you weak, Arthur. It makes you real. Makes things matter. Well, at least I hope it does.
I have my doubts.
Arthur. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Oh, he ain't done yet, Abigail. Dutch seems...
To have lost his mind? And no.
Just be careful.
I don't have to be careful. I have you as a friend.
Sadie departs the Marston Ranch in the post-credit cutscenes, presumably beginning the voyage to South America, and Abigail departs this Earth in 1914. Susan Grimshaw, the camp's cougar. Along with Arthur, she was one of only a handful of people that stayed loyal to Dutch until the very end. I don't know if that's because of their past relationship or her confidence in his leadership. But even while Arthur was losing faith in Dutch, she still believed he'd make the right decision.
The Reverend left Arthur.
Where'd he go?
I don't know. He left me a note. Told me I should do the same.
Why?
Well, I think he's worried.
He's a right to be worried. You worried?
Sure, but I still think maybe things will turn out okay. You'll steer Dutch right. I know you will.
I'll try, Miss Grimshaw. Really, I will.
Her loyalty didn't get her anywhere, sadly. When she's shot and killed by that snake Micah, Dutch hardly even bats so much as an eyelash. Over 20 years of history together tossed into the rubbish bin. At least she wasn't left without a proper burial, since Charles returned sometime later to bury her and Arthur. She has the most beautifully placed grave out of all the others, if you ask me. Right amongst these gently swaying trees on the edge of this escarpment overlooking the rolling hills and eastward expanses of Red Dead Redemption 2's map. Marion and Javier, the original duo of bastards. Before any of these others we've covered, it was only these two donkeys. They simultaneously betray Arthur and John before they disappear for the next 12 years. Arthur's remaining memories of Bill and Javier were of watching them allow their blind loyalty to Dutch come back to torment them as he's descended into complete psycho mode.
So you think Dutch has lost his mind, Arthur?
I don't know anymore. I'm not sure I even care.
Well, Micah says you've been saying crazy things about him.
Micah. Keep an eye out for Micah, Bill. He says a whole lot.
Hey, why are you doing all this stuff behind Dutch's back, Arthur? Why?
It ain't like that.
Oh, so it's true. You're undermining us all. Just when it matters the most.
Who said that? Micah? Dutch?
Doesn't matter who said it, it's true. Come on, man. Right now, be strong. Be together.
I'm trying.
Try harder.
We need not spend too much time on explaining their fates, as everyone who's played Red Dead 1 knows just exactly what happens to the rest of the gang. At long last, we've reached the end of the list of comrades, and the final two people were the most impactful to Arthur's life. Despite the animosity between him and John, he was always there for his so-called younger brother, through thick and thin. You begin the story with a sort of rivalry with John, and by the time Arthur draws his final breath, he fully forgives John, granting him an opportunity to escape into the night with his family. The Marston family was Arthur's call to redemption. The rest of the holdouts in Beaver Hollow chose which side of the line they'd be, those merrily joining Dutch to hell in a handbasket, or those who chose life. It's in this camp that I believe the most profound moment in John and Arthur's relationship happens, when they are finally able to communicate like two civilized dudes without bickering. Quite a long way to go from this.
You still here? Maybe I should scratch myself and feign a limp.
Ain't you got nothing better to do?
Whatever the beef is between you two, now ain't the time.
To this.
How you holding up?
Been better?
We ain't always seen eye to eye, you and me.
I guess I thought that things always came too easy to you. But here we are.
What are we gonna do about all this? About Dutch?
Stick with him. Be home night. Maybe we can stop things from going too far.
Still, things are gonna end bad.
It surely will.
You watch yourself.
Arthur's send-off is the greatest scene in a video game yet. closely followed by Jon's. No two endings have ever topped these. The symbolic passing of the torch when Arthur gives his hat to Jon brings the feelings back from the original Redemption game when Jack puts on Jon's hat after his death. Whose ending impacted you the most? Arthur Morgan or Jon Marston? I can tell you that Red Dead 2 made me shed a few tears, but Red Dead 1 made me physically get up and go take a walk outside to process what was just shown to me. Last but certainly not least is the most influential figure Arthur ever had in his life. Big Bad Dutch van der Linde. This was the hardest goodbye of them all. Someone that was as close to a father he would know, lied to, used, and abandoned him in his most vulnerable and fragile state. Talk about being a real bastard, man. Many players might not have seen in their first playthrough that Arthur's very last words to Dutch were actually a repeated line from Dutch himself. We can hear it in this hidden camp interaction prior to the final mission.
What happened to you, Arthur? Why did you have to go and change on me?
What are you talking about?
I never lied to you. I told you the truth. I gave you all I had. All of you!
I gave you all I had. I did.
Dutch allowed his massive ego trip fool himself into believing his own lies, being too proud to allow anyone else the benefit of the last laugh. It was Dutch's world and you better get out of the way. But as we all know, pride comes before the fall. Well, that will do it, my Red Dead freaky deakies. What did you think of this video? Enjoyed it? Leave it a like. Tell me which moment was your favorite. Didn't like it? That's cool too, you can call me an asshole, but make sure it's in the comments. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and if you have any recommendations for a video you'd like to see in the future, as always, of course, let me know. See you in the next one, Home Skillets.